Sanmonani, as we say in Johannesburg, but good morning, everyone. It really gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to MIP Africa. You know, for years we had to travel to France, and it was a lot of fun. But, you know, we all know what the exchange rate did to us, right? So we're very grateful that the recognition that Africa has got such potential and opportunities for all of you has brought you here, so we welcome you. We've seen Chinese martial arts films have a moment globally. Bollywood, Scandinois, and the K-dramas and anime. Truth is, the world will always be hungry for new stories, fresh perspectives, and that sense of awe and wonder that comes from seeing things for the first time, of realizing that the world is bigger and more varied and wonderful than you'd ever expected. And that we are also different, but still have so much in common. But most of those success stories, what they share in common is that they started by creating content for themselves, for their own communities. China and Bollywood had paid their dues making content for almost 1.4 billion people in their respective countries before films like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon blew people's minds all around the world. Local audiences want to see themselves on screen. It's something we've seen play out again and again, all around the world. And it's certainly true here. On Showmax, since its relaunch, 9 out of the 10 most watched shows have been local. It took a massive show like House of Dragon to make a dent into the top 10. This is the part where you clap. For Showmax, yeah? Africa has a very young and diverse population spanning 54 countries with over 3,000 languages and even more ethnic tribes, serving as a great source of inspiration for rich storytelling. When we were introduced to television, as you said, we were only consumers. For a long time, Africa didn't have a film industry, it had a service industry, with a few exceptions to the norm. We are now at the forefront, creating our own stories in our languages and in our own countries. There is a massive opportunity here. But we also need to be honest and admit that it's tricky to talk about a unified African market currently. Our stats show clearly that Nigerians are watching Nigerian content, Kenyans are watching Kenyan content, and South Africans their own content, with very few little overlaps. There are exceptions, of course, like the Real Wild House of Lagos in Nairobi, which is everywhere and anywhere, including the real, what is this, Ultimate Girls Trip? But these are exceptions. Generally, people love to see themselves on TV. And that makes it very difficult to navigate the terrain in Africa. Truth is, there are easier places to operate than in Africa. And no, Nicola, I won't mention the other people that came and left. Africa is a challenging market. You know, we have learned as Multichoice Group to say finding the right solutions for our customers in the different territories is really what sets us apart. You have got to have customized solutions for each region. There's payment issues, there's challenges of how we consume. However, we remain deeply committed to unearthing opportunities in Africa. Africa is not only our home, it's our business. We've faced every challenge you can imagine, and a few more that you probably can't, and have had to be creative innovators at every hurdle. We have had to be as tenacious as the people we serve, who get up every day to make ends meet. As Africans, giving up isn't in our DNA. When we fight to win. Just remember the Springboks on Saturday. That's how we fight. Multichoice pioneered pay TV on the continent. It put satellites into the orbit to spread the news, entertainment, and sport across the continent. And it has invested billions in infrastructure and storytelling. We've been just as pioneering with streaming. Showmax was the first streaming service in Africa to make mobile downloads possible for offline viewing, which once again tells you how in tune we are with our consumers. It was also the first streaming service in Africa to launch a mobile-only plan. So after 4 decades of helping grow African film industry from the ground up, we're in a very different position to where we started. Multichoice is now firmly established as the biggest investor in African content, with a presence in 50 of the 54 countries, making content in 45 languages. You know, the other day I asked my Content Hub team, and I said, if I had to launch a drone at the office right now, how many live sets would it have to go and visit in South Africa alone? And they got to over 210. That just shows you how actively we are producing content. We are deeply rooted in our communities in which we operate. Our entertainment speaks to people in their own languages and tells stories in their own lives and reflected as such. Nigeria is a country of honor at MIP this year, and Africa Magic has played a significant role in Multichoice's transformation, producing over 25,000 hours of authentic Nigerian content. And as Africa Magic celebrates its 21st anniversary, its impact is evident in how African storytelling continues to inspire, connect, and drive progress across the continent. Through initiatives like Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards, the African film industry has seen significant growth, creating over 3,000 jobs per event and investing over 9 billion in the sector for over the past decade. The AMVCAs have elevated African film industry standards and gained international recognition and fostering talent. Where's Victor to clap for himself? Similarly, Multichoice Talent Factory is a content-wild skills development initiative that has also helped foster talent, because we recognize the importance of creating a pipeline of creatives. We have academies in Lagos, Johannesburg, and Nairobi offering training, masterclasses, and industry network sessions. We are upskilling young filmmakers and empowering them to direct their love for production and filmmaking into our industry. Talent Factory graduates are now playing key roles across the industry, like Nandisa Mkize, who is now the head writer of the Showmax hit teen telenovela Youngins, Tembale Tumfebe, who is also directing Adulting, which has seen astronomical numbers on Showmax. Across the continent, we are now in 21 million households, more of whom are outside South African. We have approximately 13,000 permanent employees, and that excludes our partner suppliers and SMMEs, which would push us closer to over 60,000 employment opportunities per annum. To put that in perspective, a high-end production like Shaka Ilembe alone generated 8,000 jobs, and we aired over 250 originals across just 3 of our channels last year. I keep telling you to clap. We're here to celebrate, guys. And we have so much more to celebrate. The investor interest in our company, like the partnership with the globally renowned Comcast, is a massive vote of confidence and a sure sign that we're headed in the right direction. And I know you guys think I'm going to say the other name now. And we've had arguably one of our best year ever for content, which is at the heart of what we do. We've seen shows like Shaka Ilembe, Sibongile and the Dlaminis, Outlaws, The Mummy Club, and Adulting set viewing records on their respective launch platform, with Shaka seeing more than 4 million views on its premiere episode and becoming the most searched TV series on Google in South Africa. We've also seen increased international recognitions with productions like Spinners, surpassing our expectations and becoming the first African series at the Cannes Series and winning Shanghai Mongolia Awards among the growing list of awards. Our co-productions, Catch Me a Killer, became the first African stories to feature in Series Mania. We also had Two Sides, which was nominated at the Emmys, and Veifi, which was nominated as the best TV series at CO. Our own sales arm, Multichoice Studios, is growing rapidly, but we're also working with everyone from other distributors, whether it is Fremantle, Studio Canal, HBO, and Universal, to take our stories to the world. Our partnerships are strong, and we are starting to see those partnerships becoming reciprocal. We are starting to collaborate more with our global partners rather than just buying from them. You can now see Multichoice content all around the world. Spinners made it to number 6 on the Canal Plus charts in France during its premiere run there. Reika is licensed to over 150 territories. White Lies to the likes of Sundance, and Catch Me a Killer licensed to BritBox, and The Real Housewives licensed to Bravo and Peacock. The list is endless. As it stands, at Multichoice, we have over 80,000 hours of local content to showcase on the world stage. However, it is important to never forget that our reason for being is to make beautiful stories for the different Africans we serve, in our indigenous languages and set in our diverse communities. When we start by looking for what is most personal, we find the things that are most universal. But it doesn't work as well the other way around. When we start asking, how do we make a show for the whole world, it's easy to start to over-explain yourself, to oversimplify, and to start to cheat geography, casting and accent, and trying to fit everybody in. So, in closing, if we keep making content for our own communities, we'll keep seeing increasing investment and better content, which will inevitably travel further and further around the world. People want our stories. They don't want us to mimic them. We're excited for MIP Africa because we get to interact and collaborate with the industry and explore opportunities. We believe in a widely attributed African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you're wanting to make content for Africans, come talk to us, because no one has invested more time and money than we have. We'll be having a session just after this, so if you're really interested, you can come join us. But in closing, I just want to reiterate that where others dip a toe, white label a platform, test a business case, make a splash and then disappear without a trace, Multichoice has always been and we will always remain. Africa is not just our side hustle, it's our home.